These 10 Pokemon have been changed in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Starting off with Gallade here, it gets a new ability called Sharpness, which increases the power of slicing moves by 50%. Now this is a great change for Gallade, because it has access to Psycho Cut, which will now be boosted 50% on this Pokemon. And also having access to one of the new moves called Aqua Cutter, this Pokemon's offense is considerably better than it used to be in previous games. And you'll probably be running Sharpness over Justified for the most part now. Next up is Weirdeer, which is not quite available in the game yet since Transfer Only Mon are not yet available, but this has taken a considerable adjustment to its signature move, Psy Shield Bash, which used to, it was about a 20 to 30% chance that it would raise the user's defensive stats. Whereas in Gen 9, it now guarantees a defense boost as long as it connects. This is a huge buff to the move and may actually make it quite usable, though you are still running with that 90 accuracy, which is kinda mediocre. Houndstone is not the only Pokemon that gets Last Respects. Basculegion's moveset has been updated for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it now has access to Last Respects, which makes the male version of Basculegion a fair bit stronger, because this move is very powerful once you get it set up. Also, Wave Crash has taken a considerable buff in this game. It is not all positive changes though, because Dragapult has actually taken some considerable nerfs to its physical moveset. Since Breaking Swipe is no longer in the game, it does not have access to that. It also does not get Dive and Steel Wing anymore, and on the support side of things, it no longer has access to Ally Switch. So it has taken some considerable nerfs. What has also been nerfed is Serena, which no longer has access to the coverage move Triple Axle, since that is not in the game. It also no longer has Grassy Glide for that priority grass type offense. These aren't huge changes to the moveset that suddenly make it unusable, but it is still something to keep in mind and does affect the flexibility of this Pokemon's offense slightly. Next is a slight adjustment to Charizard, which may not really matter that much because I haven't even seen a Charizard in Gen 8 use the move that it no longer has. And that move is Mystical Fire. So it no longer has the ability to lower an opponent's special attack stat like it did in Gen 8. It's not a huge nerf, but it is definitely something that I did not expect to see happen. Next up we have Garchomp, which has a nice buff in this game, having access to a physical water move in the form of Liquidation, which given how the Terastallized gimmick works, having Liquidation would actually be a great option for a Water Terra Garchomp, and gives it some unique offense that it otherwise did not have. Now, this is not so much a buff or nerf, but rather an adjustment. Dragalge's moveset has been slightly changed, as it no longer has access to Sludge Wave, so it no longer has a good stab spread move that it can use, which does kind of hurt its offense. However, it does now get access to Acid Spray, so its single target offense is actually a little better in this game, but its spread offense is worse. Not sure how big of a deal that actually is, and I haven't seen a Dragalge in the ranked ladder anyway, so it's still not a Pokemon that most people would consider using. Another moveset adjustment is Scyther, because it no longer has access to Dual Wing Beat, which gave it some very good offense, which when combined with Technician gave it some very strong flying type offense. So now you're stuck having to use Wing Attack or Acrobatics as your physical flying offense. Well, there is also Aerial Ace too, which is probably the best of them. But this Pokemon now has access to Tailwind, so you can use it for speed control. So it's able to play slightly different in this game, and I'm not entirely sure if that's a buff. It's probably more so a nerf, because this is not an ideal Tailwind user to begin with, and that Dual Wing Beat did hit very hard in Gen 8. This is my favorite buff of all. Drifblim finally has Air Slash. It's so nice to see Drifblim finally having access to a relatively consistent and strong special flying type move, which combined with Flare Boost could actually give this some very nice offense. You're no longer just stuck having to use Shadow Ball anymore, which I think this is a great buff, and this is something that should have happened a long time ago. Now obviously there are more Pokemon that have had adjustments, but this is just a small list of ones that I found. If you want to see this kind of video again where I go over some more adjustments, let me know down in the comments below. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time.